I see my friends coming.
Hey, what's up going on, guys? It's Aaron Perelli, okay, with AJP Fishing. First of all, what a big weekend. You know, Jordan Lee took home the Classic. That was a huge thing for a kid that age, you know. Coming out of the woodwork, you know, working his way up to the top. I mean, he was laying the wood to him on the final day, you know. It just goes to show you, you know, wherever you are, you break down or something, you can't make certain areas, and you just got to keep on fighting all the way to the very end, you know. So wherever you are, make your nest right there and just start working, you know, and put in a sack. And he did that. Kid put in his time, put his effort in, and it paid off big time. And it was a great Classic to see. But what I want to talk about today is, guys are talking to me. He's like, you know, I just went out the other day and I was with my friend's boat, and we couldn't do anything because I didn't have my boat because all my waypoints were being used. They were locked into my boat, so I didn't have the GPS or anything. One of the best things you guys can do is when you're doing water. Now, obviously, you can't really do it so much on offshore fishing, okay, which is understandable. But if you're running, you know, running bank and you're running people's docks, you're running, you know, riprap and all these other kinds of areas that you want to fish. One of the best things you can actually do for yourself, just for a memory point, because if you don't have, or your GPS goes down, or all your waypoints go down, you don't know where certain things are, and you're making a milk run, it's better to know that milk run in your head than relying on your GPS, you know? And this is the way I do it. My brother and I, for years, have come up with a system to make waypoints in our head. We look at whatever possible things are around the area and make like a code name for it, you know? Over the years, we come up with code names like, you know, Notre Dame, Three Little Pigs, you know, Coyote Ugly, Asshole Alley. That was another good one. And I'll explain to you why, you know, you have stuff like that, you know, because when you're at certain locations, there's certain things that are going to be on the bank, you know, on the shore, by the docks, anything that's going to stick out that you're going to remember that spot, why it's a good spot, you know. We'll actually take Asshole Alley for instance, you know. Forever we'll always know that spot. Why? We were in a row of docks that we were at, and we got to the end of it, and this guy started screaming at us because we were fishing next to like a kind of a, I wouldn't even say, yeah, I guess kind of like a marina type lot thing. And the guy was just absolutely going nuts, you know, but we landed a 4-pounder right there. So we want to mark that spot, obviously. But you don't need a GPS. You just label it. That's Asshole Alley. We went to the spot. Guy was an asshole. Plain and simple, you know. That's how you do it. Things like Coyote Ugly. Coyote Ugly was discovered because the guy's lawn, he had these fake metal coyotes to keep ducks and I guess geese off his property or whatever. So it was a great spot. We look at it. What do we got here? Okay, these like metal or brass coyote figures that are, you know, trying to scare the birds away, you know, is a great point. So we started calling it Coyote Ugly. You know, Notre Dame was a classic one. You know, all it was a big, the guy's barn had a big shamrock on the barn. And we just started calling that, you know, Notre Dame. You know, Three Little Pigs. The guy had, this other guy on his lawn, he had 3 very, very tiny little, like, I would say, like, it looked like probably a pool house, a lawnmower shed or stuff to keep all his tools in, and some other, like, utility cabinet kind of deal. So we call it Three Little Pigs because it looked like 3 little pig houses, you know? You want to try to break down water and remember things that you did and where those areas were by code names, so you know it without having to rely on your GPS or having to rely on, you know, your buddy with memory, like, hey, where did we catch that fish the other day? Oh, was it this place? You know, where, like, you know, the tree kind of was like leaning into the water, and oh, there was that hot chick on the dock or something like that. You don't want to label stuff like that. You want to look at what you got. You want to look at the trees, the houses. I don't care if it's pink gutters. I don't care if it's you know, a dog that looked like weird, that like came out and started barking at you. You know, you call it angry dog. I don't know, whatever. You start labeling things that way, you know. And when you're with other guys, you do that also with code names with baits. You know, my brother and I have code names for baits that we use. You know, when you look around and then you're talking to them and you're going into weigh-ins and it's like, hey, what's going on? How'd you do? This and that. And you break things down. You know, I'll ask my brother, you know, how'd you make out? What's going on? He's like, you know, I wasn't doing bad. You know, I was running casket at Afro Puffs, throwing Frankie Blue Eyes. What does that mean to you? That means nothing to you because you're like, what the hell does that mean? You know, I went casket at Afro Puffs throwing Frankie Blue Eyes. Well, when you go to this area, there's two trees that look like giant afros. So we call it Afro Puffs, all right? Going casket means you went 6 feet under. So you're throwing 6 feet, okay? And then you're using Frankie Blue Eyes, okay? Which is a jerk bait. It's Frank Sinatra throwing Frankie Blue Eyes. This bait is actually a good bait too if you're going out there for the fall and spring for jerkbait fishing. It's coming up. You want to have something that you do, and if you've got something that has blue eyes like that, forget about it. That's actually a good spring color. But see what I mean? How you break down codes real quick if you have to, and not say what you're doing in front of other people or where you were throwing. Nobody would know what that bait is if I didn't just tell it to you. Nobody would know what Afro Puffs meant, and nobody know what casket is. They would not know that pattern. So you make patterns amongst yourself. You make patterns amongst your friends, that you fish with, that you want to go out with. Start knowing your locations, because if the GPS goes down, your buddy's not with you, you start remembering things, the areas that you caught fish. You want to be dialed in that day to start laying the wood to them when you're down and out. You got to make a milk run, and you got to stick to it. Don't even look at your GPS. Just, where am I going this day? I'm going to 3 You Little Pig. I'm going to Coyote Ugly. I'm going to Asshole Alley. I'm going to freaking Notre Dame. I'm going to the Rock, the Stairs, the Steps. I'm going to the Dojo. There's another place called the Dojo. We got so many places. Where you're going. We're going to Fort Fairlanes. That was the movie with Andrew Dice Clay. Guy had the same exact car in his driveway as Fort Fairlanes. So we're going to Fort Fairlanes. Things like that can help you remember spots on the water that are going to be key for you for that tournament. So get ready, start gearing up, start sharpening your hooks, go through your bait, make sure everything's good. Start taking your Q-tips and going through your guides on your rods to make sure you don't come out and nothing gets a snag off the Q-tip when you pull it out. That's how you know if you got a slice in your guide. Stuff like that are key things and the key ingredients to get ready for this spring coming up and start going out there and start hammering that water, all right? You guys take it easy. Good luck on the water. I hope this was insightful for you or informative. Enjoy yourself, all right? Be safe. Take care.